Okay, set up and that all looking good. Nice lines, back looks really nice and straight. Jeez, bumpy hands. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So not much disconnection of the arms, which is good, but then obviously it hasn't hinged, so the club's a bit flat. But it's also sort of lagging behind in the backswing. So if it was hinged, it would be yes more in line, but also be further along in the backswing, which means obviously it won't get under there, but then it'll set now as you finish your shoulder turn, and then the club is set, and then you can drive your legs instead of this move. You see that little bump that I'm talking about. So that's how important that set is. And then from there, yeah, a lot of good stuff. A little inside and under the plane here. But again, obviously it's hard to time that disconnection at the end of the backswing. So yeah, overall good. Super release. Yeah, really super release. Okay, and then here's the 3-wood on 10, so you can see how far left you're aiming. Actually aiming like... yeah, I mean it's way too far. And then you kind of drop it inside. And hit a little push. So that's now starting on that line there. And then obviously the left to right wind just makes it worse. Okay. And then in terms of swing plane, same things we're talking about. So you can see club not set, not hinged there. So it's a little bit flat and not far enough along in the backswing. Obviously gets under the plane there. Didn't bump this one as much, but I'm going to try and get out of that position. Legs working nicely, man. The sequence looking really good. Yeah, that's looking really good.
How's it, mate? Okay, so obviously had a little chat there after the game, so we're kind of on the same page. Okay, kind of happy with how things went as an overall. Obviously the score got elevated in the last couple of holes there. That's fine, not too worried about that. So yeah, let's just get into what and kind of what I wanted to work on this morning as well. So long game is the same thing, right? So we don't kind of set the club, hinge the club nicely, so you get this sort of early rotation under the plane. Okay, and then from there, as you try and set it, because you kind of have to load the shaft now, just get that little bump, which obviously now makes it slightly above the plane. Okay, and then from there we have to try and get it on plane a little bit late, and that's where you feel that sort of right shoulder dipping a little bit. Okay, so the way to fix it is to make sure that the club fully sets, and the easiest way to make sure the club fully sets is to start setting it over here. You know what I'm saying? And then once it's on plane, okay, we've got that little sort of drop that we've been working on. Okay, it obviously works in conjunction with the hip. Okay, then that will really come into play and you really start flushing. Okay, it was good and well managed. I felt like you weren't really flushing it, and it was because of that. And obviously the body wasn't quite working. Okay, so we have to make a decision and stick with it for a couple of months, because you know we'll only get sort of 4 or 5 opportunities to put into practice. So we're going to make a decision of when your body is feeling like that, what am I going to do? Am I going to go to a 3/4 backswing? Okay, and obviously you practice that once or twice a week, so you'll have new yardages and stuff like that. And that'll be sort of that sort of 10, 10, but fully set, half 10 backswing. But it's just not separated, so you don't have to worry so much about dropping and reconnecting and timing. Okay, just this sort of little bit less lateral movement, 3/4 backswing, and then we just fire that hip, stay in our posture. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. And then the other way is to make it a full swing, full set, full transition, really focusing on sort of smoother backswing, which you started to do on the back nine, but then full set and a longer set. Okay, so like this full slowish backswing at like sort of 75%. Instead of 90% speed. You know, just give your body time to get everything in order and then hold that force that you created. So either one we can do, we just got to make sure that we decide on one and practice it, because the yardages and stuff will be slightly out. So yeah, we're just going to make that decision. Wedge is the same. It's the same thing. So kind of a little bit inside. Okay, little bit of a bump. I'm exaggerating it here. Okay, but then from here you kind of have to drop it on plane. And when you drop it on plane, that's when the right shoulder drops a little bit, and then obviously you get a little bit annoyed with yourself. Okay, the work will be done if you set it better. Okay, then just allow it to drop earlier. And from here you can just power through with those wedges. Okay. Short game really was good. Just put yourself in sort of tough places where you have to keep trying to play that little cutty pitch shot. And you pulled it off sort of 8 out of 10 times. So it was all really good. Only one I wasn't happy with was 4. Okay, you know, we had decided a few weeks ago that we're not going to chip from the fringe. And now that one was downhill, lie, downhill all the way to the hole. And I just thought you should have putted it. But other than that, it was really good. And then your putting in general, I think, is really good. Really, really good. And statistically, it is quite good. But I just want you to know, because it's really important, okay, that it's just a very slight push. Okay, and it is very consistent, and you do hold a lot of putts. Okay, but it's a very slight push, and I think we should leave it for now. But, okay, we're going to have to just read a touch more break into our left to righters. Okay, so we just tend to miss those left to righters a little bit right. Okay, because of that little push. The little push comes from that little arcing inside stroke and then straight through, so it doesn't kind of arc back. Okay. But it's so good, and the face is then so stable that, and you do hold quite a lot, and the strike is really good. So I really think we should just leave it a little bit, and then just read a little more break into those left to righters. Okay, so yeah, do a little bit of practice for me. Hinge it, make sure you hinge it first, set it earlier, that's the key part. So we don't have to try and set it on the downswing. If we don't set it on the downswing, we won't get the club kicking above plane, and that'll fix 90% of our problems. Okay, and also it'll bring that strike back, and then let's decide when our body's not firing, what are we going to do? Are we going to do this 3/4 swing, or are we going to do the full swing at 75% speed? Okay, let's just decide on that.